Bear it out. Swing and a high drive. Right field. Way back. The Blue Jays win the game.
He puts him away. Struck him out. 11 strikeouts in his debut to tie the Red Sox record in his debut.
Double, walk, walk. Base hit makes it 3-2. Walk, 4-2. Base hit, 5-2. Hit by pitch, 6-2. Walk, 7-2. Wild pitch, 8-2. I have not mentioned the word out yet. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
The ridiculous part about it was the Yankees looked like the pitchers like Little League.
The AL East is currently the most insane division in all of baseball. The Toronto Blue Jays currently lead, but do we trust them to make a deep postseason run? And then you have the Yankees. They have the bats like Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, and Jazz Chisholm. But aside from that, how do they win games? They're one solid pitching performance from being eliminated in the playoffs. And then you have the Boston Red Sox, a team that just 2 months ago looked like it would steal the AL East right from under the Yankees and Blue Jays. But now they're going to be lucky to make the playoffs at all. So who's going to win the AL East? And which of these three teams is going to surge into September to claim that crown? Now, before we get into this crazy race, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on, and throw down a like if you can. Now that that's out of the way, let's get right into it. Let's start with Toronto, because right now they're the hunters and the hunted. At 83 and 62, the Blue Jays have positioned themselves as the AL East leaders and could hold the #1 seed in the entire American League. But here's the thing about being on top. Everybody's gunning for you, and the Yankees and Red Sox have been coming fast. The Blue Jays have already clinched the crucial tiebreakers against both the Yankees and Red Sox, which means if they do end up tied with either team, Toronto gets the nod, and that is going to be huge insurance down the line. But it won't matter if they can't hold that division lead. Now let's just talk about what got them here. The Blue Jays have gone 57 and 34 since May 28th. That's the second best record in baseball besides Milwaukee, and that's definitely not a fluke. I mean, Vladdy Jr. has been absolutely raking. Their bullpen has found consistency, and they've been clutch in big moments. George Springer deserves some love too. The 35-year-old veteran is objectively the best hitter on the entire team. I mean, he leads the Jays in OPS, home runs, and slug, just not doubles. That honor goes to upcoming free agent Bo Bichette, who boasts the AL leading 44 doubles. And this is all without mentioning the rotation, which is headlined by Kevin Gausman, Jose Berrios, and Chris Bassett, who have a combined age of over 100 years old. But here's what everyone in Toronto's nervous about. Momentum in baseball changes fast, and the Yankees, at least up until the series that they're having right now with the Tigers, have been coming like a freight train. Now, speaking of the Yankees, they're currently 80 and 65 and have gone 20 and 11 since August 6th. That completely erased what had been a disappointing midseason slump for them. Now, we're talking about a team that was looking dead in the water 6 weeks ago, and now they're one of the more hotter teams in the division, if not the AL. They just came off a 7-game winning streak that was only snapped by the White Sox, and during that run, they climbed into the top American League wildcard spot while also trimming Toronto's division lead to just 3 games. But here's what makes this Yankees surge so impressive. It's not just about beating up on weak teams. Sure, they've had some favorable matchups, but their starting pitching has been absolutely dominant. Yankees starters have combined to go 10-1 with 2.29 ERA across the past 13 games, giving their explosive lineup the foundation they have been waiting for. And speaking of that lineup, Aaron Judge is doing Aaron Judge things with 43 home runs and a .319 batting average. But the real story has been Cody Bellinger. He's batting .338 with 5 home runs and 16 RBIs over his last 19 games. The guy's looking like an absolute steal for the Yankees. And don't sleep on rookie Ben Rice. He just continues to go yard like he did off of Max Scherzer in a crucial game against Toronto, adding to the Yankees' leading slugging percentage at .454. But don't get it twisted. Not everything is going well in New York. You see, at the trade deadline, the Yankees went all out, trading for David Bednar, Camilo Doval, and Jake Burt. And while I can point to each one of these relievers choking multiple innings for the Yankees, the numbers speak for themselves. With the Giants, Camilo Doval's ERA was sitting at just around 3. Since being traded to New York, his ERA has been around 7. Same thing with Jake Burt. With the Rockies, he had a respectable ERA in the mid-4s. But after being traded to the Yankees, it skyrocketed to 20 27. Then you got David Bednar, and he's the only one who's actually like somewhat maintaining their ERA throughout the trade, but even he has been rocky. The Yankees have effectively put themselves in a position where if they don't hit any home runs, they lose the game. If the starter doesn't go 6 innings or more, they lose the game. If the game plan does not go exactly according to plan, they lose the game. And that means every single game against Boston in an upcoming series is going to be so crucial. Now, speaking of Boston, they just made multiple moves that have everybody talking and could be complete game changers. First, the Red Sox released Walker Buehler and called up their top pitching prospect, Peyton Toll. But that was just the beginning. Now, they've doubled down on their youth movement by calling up yet another left-handed prospect at Connolly Early for his MLB debut after placing Dustin May on the injured list with right elbow neuritis. This is what I can only describe as desperation mixed with brilliance might look like, because rather than sticking with a struggling veteran, Boston is going all in on their future. Buehler, who got the final out in the Dodgers World Series victory just last season, had been struggling with a 5.45 ERA over 22 starts. May, acquired at the trade deadline to stabilize the rotation, posted a brutal 5.4 ERA in just 6 appearances with Boston. So instead of letting these veterans continue to hurt their playoff chances, Boston made the crazy bold decision to just cut ties and promote their future. And what a future it could be. Tolle is ranked as the number 2 prospect in the Red Sox system, while Early comes in as their number 6 prospect. We're talking about 2 guys making their debuts in the heat of a playoff race. So that's either going to be a genius move looking back or just complete insanity. And we're just going to have to wait to find out. Toll has made 9 appearances between AA and AAA this season, sporting a 2.36 ERA with a 163 batting average against. His debut against the Pirates, he threw a 1-hit shutout through 5 innings before being lifted after allowing back-to-back singles in the 6th. Sure, he's been a little rocky since then, but the next Red Sox rookie left-hander has been kind of dominant in his first outing. And yeah, I'm talking about Connolly Early. This 23-year-old left-hander has been absolutely dominant this season with a 2.6 ERA and 132 strikeouts in 100 innings or so between AA and AAA Worcester. That dominance translated in his big league debut, where he tied the Red Sox record for strikeouts in a debut, K'ing 11 A's in a dominant 5-inning performance. Now, I do need to mention the elephant in the room, and that's Roman Anthony's oblique injury. The Red Sox have one option and one option only: just make the playoffs and hope he's healthy in time. Otherwise, who cares? Now, I say that because Roman Anthony is the best offensive player on the team. Sure, Trevor Story, Jarren Duran, and Alex Bregman are all good ball players, but the Roman Empire was leading off, getting on base over 40% of the time. That's huge for an offense. The funny thing is, they might be able to guarantee he gets back in time. You see, the Red Sox are just 3 games back from the AL East crown, and they play the Tigers in a 3-game set to end the season. If the Red Sox can win the AL East and get within a game or 2 of the Tigers before the final series, they can potentially secure themselves best record in the American League, earning themselves a spot in the ALDS. Basically, they would just buy more time for themselves to allow Roman Anthony to recover and come back. But if that doesn't happen, there's a good chance that they could play the Yankees in a wild card round this season as well. The good thing for the Red Sox there is that they've already clinched the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Yankees, since they took 3 out of 4 from New York recently during the Yankees' red-hot streak. But Boston knows they're running out of time, and the rookie lefty call-ups represent that willingness to just roll the dice a final time on talent over experience. It's a risky move, but in September baseball, sometimes risk is exactly what you need. Now, as I'm recording this, we've got 2 absolutely crucial series happening that could shift the entire trajectory of this race. The Yankees are hosting the Detroit Tigers in a series that's massive for tiebreaker implications, but as of right now, Detroit is just demolishing the Yankees, which is terrible for a Yankees team on their way to Fenway Park to face Garrett Crochet and Brian Bello. Now, meanwhile, the Blue Jays are hosting the Astros in what could determine home field advantage throughout the playoffs, but it might not be as important as their next series with the red-hot Orioles, who could be playing playoff spoiler. So for all teams, the pressure is mounting and every game is mattering now. Not just for making the playoffs, but for positioning yourself once you get there. Now, while the stars get the headlines, this race could be decided by the role players who step up when it matters most. For the Yankees, it's been guys like Ben Rice providing clutch hits lefties and low leverage relievers stepping up when needed. Their depth has been tested during this surge, and so far everyone has answered the call, but I am not buying this bullpen, man. It's a disgrace how these guys are performing. It feels like every other night, one of the trade deadline relievers is just blowing a game. And don't even get me started on Anthony Volpe and his lack of defense and offense. I can't. Next, moving on. As for the Blue Jays, they've gotten major contributions from aging veterans all season long. Their success hasn't been about one or two superstars. It's been about a complete team effort. George Springer, Chris Bassett, and Kevin Gausman are all three extremely important players for the 25 Blue Jays, and they're all guys playing in their late 30s. And for the Red Sox, the Connolly early call-up represents their willingness to trust young talent. If he can continue to pitch at a high level, he could be the X factor that nobody saw coming, because all they need to do is hold out until Roman Anthony gets back, and then we're talking about a team who could really upset a lot of other teams in the playoffs. But look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know exactly how this is going to play out, because September baseball is unpredictable by nature. But I can tell you what to watch for. The Yankees series against Boston is massive. If the Yankees take care of business against the Red Sox, it basically gives them the security they need, knowing that they've nearly locked up the first wildcard spot. Toronto's next few series could determine whether or not the Blue Jays will go down as the worst to first team. They could easily win the division after finishing in last place the year prior. But with also a few losses, they could drop out of the playoffs entirely. And as for the Red Sox, I think the situation is a lot more murky. Right now, the Red Sox are relying on guys like Romy Gonzalez, Rob Refsnyder, Nate Lau, and Nate Eaton to provide a spark for the offense. While it is working for now, it won't work against the Yankees. It won't work against the Blue Jays, and it definitely won't work in the playoffs. With Roman Anthony out and unable to push this offense over the top, they're going to have to rely on guys like Garrett Crochet, Brian Bello, and Lucas Giolito, and the two rookie lefties to pitch lights out baseball just for the Red Sox to remain in games. The difference between being the #1 seed with a first round bye and being a wild card team playing in a 3-game series is enormous. The Blue Jays know that holding onto their lead means extra rest and home field advantage. The Yankees and Red Sox know that every game they can climb up on the seeding ladder gives them a better chance at a deep playoff run. So this is it, guys. This is the crazy final stretch and a wild race coming down to the wire. With tiebreakers already locked in, brutal schedules ahead, and October dreams on the line, every pitch from here until the end of the season matters. We're about to witness September baseball at its absolute finest. 3 teams that know how to win, know how to handle the pressure, and know what it takes to play meaningful games. This isn't just about winning a division. This is about setting the tone for October, about momentum, about proving which team wants it most in a division full of contempt. So buckle up, guys, because the next few weeks are going to be absolutely wild. Make sure you're watching every game, because when we look back at this season, we're going to be able to say we remembered some wild races. Now, who do you guys think is going to come out on top? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and let me know who you guys think is the biggest sleeper on each team that can help get them over the line. And if not already, please make sure to subscribe, like, and turn those notifications on, because we're going to be covering this plus every other story in Major League Baseball for a long time to come. That's all for today. I'll see you on the next one.